Hello, welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports and another edition of the Tubeless saga continues. About 2 weeks ago, I did a 150-mile ride, and I posted that as a post. I just posted the Strava screenshot of the ride. Anyway, on the 150-mile ride, Barbara, Jess, and myself went out, and Jess did 128 miles. Barbara and I did 150. The point of the mileage is important. At about mile 68, 69, thereabouts, I experienced a rear wheel puncture. I was riding tubeless on my head jet black 60 wheels. Fairly flat course, for the whole 150 miles was only like maybe 5,500 feet of climbing. But anyway, so I got a puncture at about mile 68, 69 as I was entering a bike path that's called the San Gabriel River Trail. If anyone is from Southern California or San Diego, Orange County, LA County. Well, I was transitioning from PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, onto the San Gabriel River Trail, which is called SGRT. And there was some sand and some moisture and some stuff. So when I went through it, I felt a little moisture on my calves. And I just thought, well, that's what that is. But then, 5 or 10 seconds later, I'm like, well, I'm on dry pavement now. And it was a beautiful sunny day, by the way. I'm on dry pavement. So anyway, that's what it was. The rear wheel punctured, sealant is spraying all over the place. Well, the plan was to get to mile 75 northbound, turn around, come 75 miles south back to San Diego. So I said, well, I'm on the bike trail. If this thing doesn't seal, I'll pull over, put on a tube. I'm in a safe area. There's no cars. Just have to make sure I leave a clear way for other cyclists and runners and dogs and kids and e-bikes. So I got to, about a mile or two later, it seemed to have sealed up. Now, this is important as well. Much of the dialogue or discourse within my tubeless videos has been that I'm riding too high of a pressure. I've been riding prior to this, 80 PSI. I weigh about 150 pounds, and I'm riding a 21 internal and a 25 external rim width with a 25 tire. So 80 PSI, it has, probably 1 out of 20 times has sealed. So I said, okay, let's consult the experts in the dialogue in all these videos. And basically the common trend was 30 plus tires, 30, 32. People are running 55 PSI or lower. And, our roads are pristine here in Southern California. When we experience potholes and some stuff, we're very fortunate. So we have very, very clean, pristine roads, whether they be in the urban type areas, which I don't like to ride in urban areas, but as a contrast to our rural areas where all the great climbing is. Beautiful, pristine roads. We sometimes, we'll come to an area and they're repaving or resealing, and we're like, this road wasn't that bad. So there's more road works going on. That's great. My tax dollars are at work, as they say. So I ride 25s. I don't have a need for 28s and 30s and 32s. And I ride about an 80 pressure. Anyway, I then started looking at the comments and saying, all right, well, okay, let's bring down the pressure and see if we have more sealing capability from this tubeless sealant. So I brought it down to 70 psi, and there was a couple of days during the week, and then this was now Saturday, the long day. I kind of figured, okay, I'm going to go with 70, and that's just what it is. And for the life of me, I can't remember what head recommended for a 150-pound rider. I had it in my mind a couple of days ago, and now I forgot. Anyway, so 70 psi. It seems to have sealed at about a mile down the road. 69, 70 miles or 70 plus miles on the return, it seemed to hold. I don't know where it's stabilized at, right? So sealant went out, loss of pressure. I don't know where I ended up. Anyway, it felt gushy, it felt soft, so I just said, you know what? We're on a 150-mile endurance ride. I'm not stopping, right? So this was also a no-no ride, so no stops for no reason. So no refueling, no potty breaks, nothing for 150 miles. It was about 8 hours, a little over 8 hours of riding on 2 bottles and whatever pocket fuel I had. It's funny, someone just made a comment about, oh, have you considered a frame bag? And then something to add more water bottles to the bike. And you know, it's like God, what was it? Whiskey. No, not whiskey. It'll come to me. B-Rad type of system. And I was like, why do I need all that stuff on my bike? I mean, I just rode eight and a half hours on just 2 bottles, you know, so why do I need all this extra stuff? But anyway, so we get back. I don't pump it. I don't pump any air in the tire. I'm like, okay, it's sealed. Okay, good. On Sunday, I go out for a recovery ride with Jess, and on the way home, which was only about 20-ish miles, it starts pissing out. Well, at the time, here it is. I was carrying with me these Stan's darts because everyone claims that these are awesome. So I said, okay, well, let me try these. And I must have put in 4 or 5 of these, and this little plastic tip would come off, and would go into the tire, and then this fabric would just be sitting there, you know, would just fall to the ground. And it wasn't going into the tire. I looked at video after video after video, and apparently there's supposed to be some barbs. And every time I would look at these things, I just didn't see any barbs. And so I don't know, maybe I've got some defective darts because I don't have any barbs. Anyway, that didn't work. So then I said, well, everyone is talking so much about these other things, so let's just see if they work any better. So I opened an account with Dynaplug because that's what everyone says is so awesome, and I ordered one of these. And if you haven't seen Dynaplugs, and by the way, if any of you are on this video and you're like, oh my God, he's so long-winded, you should know that by now, or if it's your first time to this video or to my channel, this is how this channel works. I talk with you like you're standing here in the shop. All right, so this is the fat tip for, like, let's say a mountain bike setup, or let's say you have a really big cut in your tire. And then this is for more of the road side of things. And the way these work, you got this little brass tip, I think it's brass, and then you have that fabric or rubber or something. This is all new to me. I'm experimenting with these. And so I decided, okay, maybe this is what I need to be carrying because everyone claims that these are so awesome. And if you don't know Dynaplug, they come from the motorcycle and automotive industry with this proven product. So I ordered one for myself. I ordered one for one of my customers, and I'm going to start using this guy. Now, I want to now take you through another process that I had to take because, as I mentioned, the Stan's dart that everyone claims is so awesome, what I had to do was poke it through the hole separately. So like I said, the little white tips kept coming off. So then what I did is I took the little, the tool, and kept pushing in these little fabric things in there. And if you're not familiar with the Stan's dart, this is supposed to have a chemical reaction with the sealant, the Stan's sealant. It's designed to do that, and it's supposed to seal. So now this tire's been holding air for a few days, and so we're gonna see. I'm probably not gonna ride this weekend because I don't want to deal with it. I've got a 100-miler coming up tomorrow. Today's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday, and I just don't want to deal with a tubeless tire. So I'll keep this now and do a training ride. Maybe Sunday as my recovery ride, where it's not as important to keep the flow. I will ride this and see how it, see if this holds while I start riding. You're not, according to Stan's, you don't have to trim this off. And then going back to this other tool, one of the things that is interesting to me is that I guess you're supposed to trim off from, the Dynaplug, you're supposed to trim off the excess. So what, are you supposed to carry a pair of scissors on the road? I don't know, maybe I'll get some nail clippers and carry those in my flat kit. Okay, anyway, so today the point of the video was to talk about tubeless, talk about again another attempt for me to make tubeless work. I'm riding 70 psi, so that should help. And I've got a new Dynaplug to test as well. Okay, thank you all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe so you can see my experience with Dynaplug. All right, cheers. We'll see you up the road.